It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Sun's going down. It's chilly outside. Got us a fire going. Perfect time to have a real estate chat. What's up, Hameen? As you come on, tell me where you're from. Carlos, what's up? Hameen. Y'all just got back from my event. Sean, what's up? It's kind of chilly outside today. Sun's going down. It's pretty outside. I'll let a few people hop on. What's going on? What's up, Nick? Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're crushing. I'm sure you are. What's up, Brian? What's up, Nick? What's up, Greg? When you hop on, tell me where you're from. What's up, Ernie? Hope y'all doing good. Kelly, what's going on, Kelly? Go Cajuns, huh, Chance? Yeah. Oh, shit. So what's going on, guys? I thought I would jump on here and, I don't know, just talk some shop, right? Talk about some deals, real estate, whatever you guys want to talk about. You know, I know. I wanted to talk about two. You know, November, December kind of slows down in the real estate game because not a lot of people want to sell their house. And I know for me, you know, historically speaking, it slows down a little bit in November and December. Like the deal flow kind of slows down because my phone doesn't ring as much. And I know talking with a lot of students and just when I used to work for other companies, I know that a lot of students would like pull back on their marketing in November and December. And that's a huge no-no, right? You don't want to pull back on your marketing right now, and I'm going to tell you why. What's up, Nick? What's up, Derek? You don't want to pull back because what happens is there's a huge communication lag on deals, right? You know, the marketing goes out, the leads come in. You don't just get a deal right within a week or two. Sometimes you get a laydown and you can get a deal within 2 weeks to a month if it's a complete laydown, but the communication lag from the time that you put out the marketing to the time that you actually close the deal is sometimes 60 to 90 days, right? Because you have a follow-up period. And sometimes it's 90 to 100 or 90 to 140, 150, right? So you have to constantly put out that marketing. So November and December, you don't want to, especially going into the new year, you almost want to pour it on. And that's kind of scary for a lot of students because I know a lot of students they struggle in November and December. Deal flow slows down. I get that. But you don't want to stop putting out your marketing. What's up, JJ? What's up, Timmy? What's up, Mike? Larry? Rhett? Give me a like. Give me a share if you're jumping on. Just talking real estate. But I want to make sure to emphasize that you got to be consistent with the marketing, especially November and December, because you want to roll into January and February strong with your marketing. Because a lot of them will get your marketing piece, and they may not even call you right then and there. They may save it if they get your direct mail piece, or they may write your number down off of a postcard or whatever it is, banded sign. So what you want to do is you want to keep the flow out, and they're going to hold on to that. And January comes, they're going to call you then right after the holidays, like clockwork. January comes and it's like boom, it takes off again. So a lot of people, what's up, Steven? A lot of people, what's up, Augustin? Tell me where you're from when you jump on. A lot of people want to slow down their marketing. And guys, post your questions when you come on. A lot of people want to slow down their marketing because, you know, deal flow slows down. And for some of you, maybe deal flow hasn't slowed down. I know for us, we it has slowed down a little bit. We got some big deals about to close. I got like a $40,000 deal. I got a $24,000 deal. So, but I don't have that many deals in the pipeline. But I got some nice, fat, juicy deals about to close. So I'm thankful and blessed for that. But Taylor says, planting seeds now to harvest later. 100%, Taylor. Like it's kind of scary. It takes courage to go and spend, you know, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 on marketing, and you know you may not get that money back for 60, 90, 120 days. So you gotta stay consistent. What's up, Tommy? What's up, Justin? Anyway, post your questions, Stephen. I'm doubling all of my marketing in December. Awesome, Stephen. Stephen's one of my students, one of my top students from Ohio. Guy's got an incredible story. He just came to my event. He got Hustler of the Year. He got the highest award in my coaching program, Hustler of the Year, because of his hard work and ethics and just his work ethic and his stamina and his deal flow and how well he did. So you got Hustler of the Year. Congratulations on that, Steven. Proud of you, man. Nick says we are seeing rentals flipped to for sale Amazon HQ2. Interesting. That's interesting, Nick. Mike says Charlotte market is hot. Yeah, Charlotte is on fire. I think Charlotte's like one of the top 5 markets across the country, or maybe top 10. I know it's ridiculous. Lauren, what's up, Lauren Watkins? Patty says you have to have a good wife to assure you it will improve cycles. That's right. Hey, that's right, Big Mama. Big Mama's on here. She's not at home right now. She's with my daughter at Patty's been with me for a long time, and she, what's up, Justin? She knows. Look, it can be an emotional roller coaster running a business, right? If you don't got thick skin, if you're not ready to get punched in the gut every now and then, or have a minor panic attack when you own a business, then you're probably not trying hard enough, because it's going to happen, and you got to get used to it, and you got to be willing to endure through that, because that's part of the game, guys. The good is only as good as it was bad, right? You have no comparison. If things are always good, the good is not as sweet as it could be when you don't go through the bad, right? So understand that you're gonna go through the bad. I mean, I have gut check moments. I'm like, dude, what am I doing? Who do I think I am, right? And everybody goes through that as an entrepreneur, so you have to understand that, and you have to push through that. Timothy says, would you recommend hiring cold callers to maximize marketing, even if you're just starting the wholesaling journey? Man, I'd recommend to do what you can afford to do. It really depends on how much money you can spend, how much time you have. If you don't, if you have a lot of time and you're doing this full time, if you have a lot of time but you don't have money, dude, I would definitely cold call. I would cold call and do bandit signs, if you can get away with it in your city. What's up, George? Nick says, Chris, what's a good ROI for a rental in Destin? Man, in Destin, it's kind of tough. If you're not paying cash for a rental in Destin, it's kind of tough to make it like super positive cash flow, because the market's pretty high. But I mean, you would need at least, for it to make sense, I'd want to say at least a 10%, 15% return on investment on a short-term vacation rental, for it to make sense. What's up, George? Sean says, victory is going to taste so sweet. That's exactly right, Sean. It's never, you don't know how good it tastes until you've tasted the bad, right? JJ, what's up? Taxes are high in Destin. That's right. Property, yeah, Mom. We just got our property tax bill in for the house. It's $10,000. And you're right. Florida property taxes are not cheap. James, what's up? But stay consistent with your marketing, guys. Understand that it's cyclical. Usually the last quarter slows down. People typically, historically, do not want to sell their house in November, December during the holidays. But that's why it gets so busy come, the latter part of January, February, and then it really ramps up. February, March, April, May, June, in the summertime, just like you're going to crush it. So if you're just getting started, you're just getting on this call, you don't know who I am. I'm a real estate coach. I teach specifically wholesaling, and that's kind of what we're talking about. And if you don't know what wholesaling is the art or technology of finding heavily discounted off-market properties. What's up, Aaron? For motivated sellers, what's up, Dylan? And flipping them to an investor, right? Or keeping them for yourself as a rental, or wholesaling it, or flipping it, right? So, it's the art of finding deals, right? That's all it is. It's the art of finding deals. If you want to know more about it and say you don't have money to hire a mentor, go pick up my book, The Source of the Deal. It's on Amazon. It's $15. If you read that book a couple of times, you can learn how to wholesale. If not, you want to come into my coaching program, book a call with us. Inbox me here on Facebook or go to chrisrood.com. Ryan says, here in Ohio, thanks for what you do, Chris. Hey, I appreciate you, Ryan. I appreciate you following me. What's up, Sadie? Sadie's one of my students from Baton Rouge. How's Ross doing, Sadie? Mike says, got to give the little one a bath later, guys. Later, Mike. I appreciate you jumping on. What's up, Michael? What's up, Dylan? Dylan's one of my students from Japan. Believe it or not, guys, Dylan is in Japan, cold calling from Japan into Alabama and Texas and doing deals virtually. Now, that's a virtual wholesaler. When you can do deals from a different continent across the Atlantic, or I'm sorry, it's across the Pacific. He's all the way in Japan doing deals, cold calling from Japan because he works in Japan because he works with the military, right? That's pretty impressive, right? So Courtney says, just got back from an appointment doing a little deal closing next week for $5K. That's awesome. Just a little baby deal. Hey, look, all those baby deals count. Look, we just got a deal today. We sold. We were only making $5,000, Courtney. I mean, everybody, those baby deals add up. If you can get 3-4 of those a month, dude, and then you hit a home run once or twice a month to get you a 20, 30, 40. That's all it takes to do 50, 30, 50 grand a month, easy. And then you really build momentum and you start working multiple markets. You can get into that 6-figure a month business. Justin says, is it different to wholesale in a buyer market? No, actually, it's better to wholesale in a buyer market because there's more distress. Like I'm in a buyer's market right now because the economy's down. So actually, wholesaling is better in a buyer's market because there's more deals. The only downside to that, Justin, is that typically consumer confidence is lower. So your cash buyers and investors are a little bit more cautious buying deals because valuations are coming down, and they feel like the market's a little soft. So that's where you want to go all in on finding landlords to sell your deals, because typically, by the way, guys, if you want to hear, give me a like, give me a share, guys. Share this out. I'm dropping some nuggets for you guys. You want to get to buy and hold guys because they'll basically buy your deals in a bad economy because they're investing for cash flow. If you're trying to sell your deals to flippers in a bad economy, they're not going to want it. A lot of the flippers go away in a bad economy because retail side's slow, right? What's up, Carly? What's up, Garrett? Retail side is slow, and they typically don't want to take a chance. Yeah, I appreciate that, Courtney. Yeah, Dylan says he's in the Air Force doing it. That's awesome, Dylan. Super proud of you that you're doing that. But yeah, guys, I focus a lot of my attention on buy and hold guys because they're not as volatile as flippers, and they don't want as much of a discount, right? Post your questions, by the way. That's right, Ryan. 10X. We're right around the corner from 10X. We got 2 months away. What's up, Holly? But buy and hold people will typically, they'll give you more for your properties. They're not as volatile. They'll still buy in a good market. They'll actually buy more in a bad market. See, flippers, it's the reverse. In a hot market, flippers don't want your deals. And buy and hold guys will kind of sit on the sideline because it's tough for them to make deals cash flow because it's harder than for to find deals. But when the market reverses and it's a bad economy, flippers go out of the door and buy and hold guys come out of the woodworks trying to buy up all the deals because they know that they can get heavily discounted properties, and they can still get them the cash flow because even in a down economy, guys, everybody knows this, people are still going to rent, right? You're still going to have rent. Now, if you're in high-end rentals, it's kind of tough. High-end rentals, I got my ass whipped with high-end rentals. I never do high-end rentals. The only high-end rental I own right now, well, I say that I bought lately is my short-term vacation house that I just bought in Destin about a year ago. Besides that, like, I'm getting rid of all my high-end rentals, guys. I'm doing everything. We're doing everything low end, like, not the bottom of the barrel, like not the hood, but like C-, D+, C+ areas. That's the best rentals, guys, but hands down. Wes is one of my students from Charlotte. Wes says, how do you find buy and hold people? Great question, Wes. How to find buy and hold people. So, Wes, go to the Section 8 office and or go to the Section 8 office, talk to the girls over there that do the Section 8 housing. Bring them some donuts or something. Connect with them, network, and say, hey, who's I got properties I'm trying to sell. Do you know any investors looking to buy some properties that want to do Section 8 housing? And they'll give you a whole list, right? And then you go to the Section 8 housing, and you'll see landlords put up, like, they'll put up houses for rent that they're trying to rent out on Section 8 all over the board, and you call all those landlords. That's a little ninja trick. You probably owe me some money for that one, Wes. That's a good little ninja trick right there. So go to the Section 8 housing. You'll see where the Section 8 guys that are qualified, and they have houses, they post houses that they want to rent out. Call all those and tell them, hey, I got deals. Go ahead and get their name, number, and say, hey, look, I got deals. If you're looking for something, I can show you something. Give me name, phone number, and email address, and I'll show you the next deal, right? Or, Wes, what you can do is go to the sheriff sales, and when all those guys go and bid, or the auctions, when all those guys are going bid on all those properties, Don't go over there to bid. Go over there and just network with all those guys. Say, hey, listen, you bidding on all these properties ain't getting you nowhere. I got deals that you won't even have to fight with any other investors, that you can just come straight to me and I'll get you some super awesome off-market properties. So that's 2 good tips right there. I like Ghost Bandit sign. Ghost Bandit signs are awesome to use. If you don't know what a Ghost Bandit sign is, hold on, guys. Hey, Aiden, Asa, stop picking on your brother, son. Aiden, stop picking on your brother. Sorry, guys. That's what happens when you got 5 kids. They fight a lot. What I was saying, bandit signs. You know, Ghost Bandit signs are really good too. If you do like, you know, get a blank sign and put, you know, investor special 3-2 cash buyer only, and put that on a bandit sign, put it all over town, like you'll get investors calling you all day long. What's up, Bradley? What's up, Linda? Zach, what's going on? Justin Dean says, this game is genius. Thanks, Chris. Listen, Justin, I don't know of a better game. I love the game. It's becoming more and more competitive out there, but because a lot of people are getting into it. But you know what? Most people don't have the hustle to get it done. Like, most people are not willing to put in the work and really grind it out to make it work. So, yeah, my wife's bragging on me. Chris is the greatest coach. Access students. Hey, no, you're right. You're right, Big Mama. Ernie, what's going on? I'll drop a bill on you for that nugget. Ernie's one of my students here. What's up, Ernie? Hope you're doing good. Brad just jumped on. Brad Rhea just jumped on. He's been a student of mine for over a year. He just got his he just got a badass deal. He's making 20 G's on, I think, in a couple of weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, that he just told me about. Congratulations on that deal, Brad. That's awesome, man. Jose, best list providers. List Source. I mean, there's hundreds of List Source. You got, I think, RoboGate, but we use Brad Pickett's RAI Market Pro. We've been using him for a while now. But I mean, as far as best list, Tangi with Foreclosures Daily, she's got some good lists. Jose, I mean, there's a bunch of good ones. They all get lists from the same place, to be honest with you, Jose. I mean, you can't say that one's better than the other, because they all do the same thing, right? They go to the same source and they turn around and resell it to us. Dan says, what's 3-2 mean? So Dan, that means 3-bed, 2-bath. So if you put 3-2, an investor's gonna know what you're talking about. It means a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And I know you're from Canada. I don't know if that's how y'all say it in Canada, but in the States we call, like, if it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, we call it a 4-2. If it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, we call it a 3-1. But that's just a pretty generic term. You know, people say 3-2, right? So, Dan, I can't wait for you to come in. I know you're going to be coming in the program soon, I believe. I think last time we talked, you're just waiting on a flip to close or something. And guys, if you're on here and you're from Canada, I have a Canadian mentorship program. I can help you get into the Canadian market. We figured out how to do this. My partner and I, Ben, he's crushing it over there, and he can help you get into this business if you're from Canada. Courtney, Chris, this property we put under contract tonight for $200K. We wouldn't have bought ourselves, and the seller was difficult to work with. We were going to walk away, but our first cash buyer in town told us that he would buy it for $205K. They are buying up everything in that area for student rentals. So just because it doesn't work for us doesn't mean it won't work for someone else. Interesting to learn. You don't always have to have a home run deal to sell it to a buyer. You just need the right buyer with the right property. That's 100% true and accurate, Courtney. That's so funny you say that, Courtney, because when you're showing deals sometimes to investors, what one investor would tell you is a trash deal, another investor would be so thankful that you got it for them, because they're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm looking for. But you may show it to like 4 of the investors, like, oh, this is crap. I hate this deal. I don't know why you're even showing this. Don't waste my time. And you get another investor be like, man, I love this deal, right? What's up, William? What's up, Derek? What's up, Susie? Christian, what's up, my man? Brad says, shh. Okay, I'll be quiet, Brad. I won't say nothing about your deal. What's up, Logan? Dan says, very soon. Awesome, Logan, or Dan. I can't wait to have you come in, my brother. Larry, what's going on, my man? Cameron, Dan, closing was pushed to the 19th of December to give time for permits to close. I can't wait, brother. Dan, can't wait to have you, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm trying to get as many Canadian students in the program as I can. I'm telling you, the Canadian market is so untapped. Nobody's doing this in Canada. Nobody even knows about this. Everybody thinks that realtors are or the la creme of real estate, that's all you can do. Like, you can wholesale in Canada. My partner Ben has proven that. So, Christian, what's up, my man? Hope you crushing. I know you are. Appreciate you come and speak at Skillatime. A psychic told me that I will flourish in Las Vegas and Florida. Real talk. And she said I just met 2 guys in Florida that will skyrocket my business. I think she was talking about you and Ben. I don't give her no information, and she was spot on. Crazy. I mean, that is crazy, man. That is crazy. Jonathan says, hey, Chris, if we get something scheduled for an intro call, is it you I'm going to talk to or someone from your team? Typically, Jonathan, is someone from my team, but if you want to, if you want to talk directly to me, go ahead and inbox me on Facebook Messenger, and I'll set that call up between me and you. How do you find cash buyers? Linda, we just talked about how to find cash buyers. A number of ways. You can go to the courthouse, at the sheriff's auction. Yeah, let me get this fire going again, guys. This fire is dying out on me. You can go to the sheriff's auction. You can go Section 8 housing. We're going to cheat. We're going to use some of this stuff right here, right? Some lighter fluid. Let's see how that works out for us. Oh, shit. But it ain't even... I'm going to have to put the lighter to it. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. Gotta be careful with that. That's how we put stuff on fire here in Louisiana. We just cheat. Put some lighter fluid. Anyway, any tips or tricks for a beginner looking to get in the game? Sean, hire a mentor, man. Listen, if you want to skip the learning curve, and I mean, look, shame on you if you've got capital and money and you can afford to hire a mentor. Shame on you if you don't. You try to figure it out on your own. Now, if you don't have money to invest in a mentor, then that's one thing. What you want to do is read a bunch of books, go on YouTube, and then take massive action. But let me tell you, something about hiring a mentor, right? When you hire a mentor, the money is not for the mentor. Yeah, the money is to keep the, what's up, Chris? The money keeps the mentor interested in helping you, right? The money is more or less for your commitment. So if you got to think of it this way, right? That's why most people that buy $500 courses that try to do it on YouTube, they fail, because there's nothing to lose, right? You got to have a commitment, right? If you have no skin in the game, it don't mean nothing. It's why you think like all these government programs that pay for college tuition, most of them fail because the student hardly ever finishes school. If they get and not every case, a lot of cases they do finish, but there's a lot of cases that they get scholarships and they don't have to pay for school, and they fail out, or they get like what's called in Louisiana TOPS program, and they don't even pass school. Why? Because they didn't pay for it. It don't mean nothing. Like you got to have a commitment. Like you got to invest in yourself. It's as simple as that. So if you're a beginner, guys, and look, Sean, pick up my book, The Source of the Deal, read it, take massive action on it, get your first deal. If you don't have any cash, then reinvest in my program. I guarantee you it'll be the best investment you ever had. I probably got 10, 15 students on this live right now watching this. They'll tell you the same thing. We got tons of students making money all over the country. This is a real business. It works. It's not easy. I ain't going to bullshit you and tell you it's easy. It's simple, but it ain't easy. It's a lot of work. But it's worth it, right? Damn it, my fire is going out again. Jonathan says, I'll do it now. Thanks, brother. Jordan McCoy, if cash doesn't work for the seller, are you doing creative deals, sub to lease options? Yes, Jordan. When I first got started, I was doing a lot of lease options. I was, figuring out how to, because I was really hungry for deals and I didn't really know, I wasn't 100%, I wasn't there enough I wasn't doing enough deals to where I was like just having to do, I wasn't getting away with just doing traditional deals. I was having to do, lease options. I did like 6 lease options my first year and did good. One of the lease options, I got 30 grand down. But typically on average, I was getting 5-10 grand down on lease options, and I was wholesaling it to another investor. Or I was just doing a sandwich lease option and standing in the middle and controlling it, and basically flipping it to a tenant using the rent-to-own model. Like, same thing, a lease option, right? Linda says, gotcha. Gregory. Chris, my man. Justin says, you guys do other exits or do you straight wholesale? I guess my education is, do the other deals take up too much time for the return based on your business model? That's a great question, Justin. So, man, I could tell you 2019, I'm probably going to do a lot more hotels and some more flips. We've been doing, for the past 4 years, we've been wholesaling a lot of stuff. This year, we bought a lot of rentals. I probably did half and half. I probably did half rentals, half wholesale deals. But next year, I'm gonna. But you gotta listen. Every deal is different. You gotta know when to jab. You gotta know when to hook. You gotta know when to uppercut. Right? You never know when. Certain deals are better to keep as rentals. Certain deals are better to throw back in MLS. For instance, I got a deal that I'm closing on this Friday. I think we're making 18 grand as a hotel deal. House barely needed any work. If I'd have wholesaled it, I probably would have only made like 2,500 or 5 grand, but I just kept it, changed the carpet out, and literally just threw it back on MLS, and now I'm making 18. I wholesaled it, right? The house is worth 215. I threw it back on MLS for 205. Got an offer in at 200,000. I paid 164 for it, and put $3,500 worth of carpet, and I got to pay a realtor. I made 18 grand. So my point is, if I'd have wholesaled that, I only made 2,500 to 5 grand if I'm lucky. But being that I had the right strategic, it takes a lot of courage to do that. You got to figure out from your realtor if that's a good move. So for instance, I asked my realtor, hey, what do you think about this house in this neighborhood? I have her pull comps for one. Secondly, you want to find out days on market. That's huge, right? Days on market in that neighborhood. She said, Chris, nothing in that neighborhood stays, nothing in that neighborhood stays on the market longer than 30 days. So boom, I was like, okay, we're going to wholesale this deal. Closed on it, threw it back on MLS. And I know you guys, don't typically can all close on deals, but listen, there's a lot of private money out there. As a matter of fact, I'm working with Chris Nagel right now. We're gonna be talking about some private money stuff here soon that I'm going to help him push to help you guys with private money and help you how to find your own private money, right? If you have private money, it makes you, and a lot of you guys don't have good credit, but you know how to find good. If you find good enough deals, private money will follow, right? You don't have to have good credit to find private money. What private money is looking for is a safe, secure asset, undervalued and discounted, that they can park their cash and get a good return on, and it's no risk to them, because if they're giving you money for a deal that you're buying at 65 cents on the dollar, they can't lose, right? So learn how to find private money. But yeah, Justin, to answer your question, we're going to be doing, we're probably going to be doing more wholesaling. I think the flipping, I've got to make a lot of money on a flip to do a flip. It's too much. It's too much work, man. Sometimes, some of these rehab jobs, they'll take you like we did a rehab job. I could have wholesaled it and made 5 grand. We rehabbed it. It took us 6 months to rehab, 4 months to rehab, and 2 months before it sold. We're into it for 6-7 months. We made $22,000. I could have sold it up front and made 5 grand and didn't have to do all that work and have all that headache. So you got to know, and I should have known better. That house in that market didn't sell. It took 2 or 3 months to sell, and it just needed a ton of work. So nope, no one is in Canada, at least no one doing it on this level. Our FB ads are crushing it. Talk to Gene Blinko, REO Marketing, about setting that up for you. Ben Humble Wholesale has been working with Ryan and it's going really well. Only 2 months in, and we have 3 deals under contract and are set to net $50K on 3 deals in the next 4 weeks. Listen, that is awesome, Courtney. So Courtney is one of our students from Canada. She's freaking crushing it, guys. Killing it. If you're in Canada, I'm telling you, if you're in Canada and you're not doing this, shame on you. Shame on you, because you're losing an opportunity for you and your family. And it's like a gold rush right now in Canada. I'm telling you, it's you can compare it back in, the early 1800s when they had the gold rush, right? Everybody went to California because they struck gold. I'm telling you, that's Canada with wholesaling. Nobody knows about this. There's a handful of guys that know how to do this in Canada. It's not many. So, shit, if I didn't have 5 kids, I may move my ass to Canada and go wholesale. So let's see. Let's check these questions. Courtney, that's 5-to-1 on our money in this program. That's exactly right, Courtney. I think Courtney paid $10,000. I know people are like, oh my God, you paid $10,000 for mentoring. Yes, I'm telling you, it's worth every penny. I probably got 15, 20 students on here who have paid me that kind of money. and they're all doing deals. You know, I say all, most of them are doing deals, right? I can't make you do a deal, but there's nobody that's gonna give you as much support, service, and attention as me and my partner Ben from Canada would give you. If you're looking for a coach, guys, I'm telling you, I'm the #1 wholesale coach for a reason. Service. There's nobody that's gonna out-service me. Promise you that, guaranteed, hands down. You will not. Chris says, not easy at all. Exactly, it's not easy, but it's worth it though, Chris. You know, it's worth it to do this for you and your family. At least give yourself a shot and opportunity, right? Brad Ray is one of my students. Brad says, I have about a 1,100% return on my investment. There you go, guys. Brad, straight from Brad Ray, one of my students. He's he's killing it, and it hasn't been easy though, Brad. It's been tough. It's been a learning curve. You've had some struggle moments. You've gotten punched in the gut, kicked in the balls a couple of times, but we all go through that, man. Stephen Miller, same thing with Stephen Miller. Stephen's been in my program. Chris will help you make lots of money. Well, I appreciate that, Stephen. Stephen said, I need to see what my ROI is. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, it's you got to realize, guys, that people, if you get around the right people, like that's why, like I'm always going to mentorships. I'm always going to, hiring people and going to coaching, like going to different programs or different, going to 10X or going to see a mentor. Like everybody's got to skill up. Everybody's got to level up, but it takes a little bit of, it takes some maturity, mental maturity to hire a mentor, because you have to humble yourself and realize that other people know what you don't know, right? Some people are too hard-headed and too stubborn to take advice from other people, right? I know that I don't know. And most people think they know it all, right? But I know that I don't know. I'm like a sponge. Like I want to go in a room, I'm going to be the dumbest person there. I'm going to soak up everything. Like, I learned a ton from my own event that I put on. I learned a ton from my own event by listening to some of the speakers, right? So it's just a matter of having, some integrity and knowing that you don't know, and it takes some courage to do that, because a lot of people are hard-headed. So Courtney says, hey, the ROI is huge, but return on time is so much higher, cutting the learning curve in half. Yeah, that's right, Courtney. I mean, it's one deal, guys. It's one deal to pay for your mentorship. That's it. It's nothing. What's up, Eric? Mike, what's up? What are the risks in wholesaling pitfalls? Okay, Mike, there's really not a whole lot of risk, but your time and marketing money that you put out. As far as risk, it's not like we're flipping houses. We're flipping contracts. So you can get out of a house. You can get out of a contract if you can't sell that contract. You can get out of it, right? As long as you're in your due diligence period. Now, if you're in Canada, there's a few sticky points in Canada that I'm not 100% sure about, but my partner Ben knows how to help you navigate through that. But here in the States, we got it made. Like, we can literally, as long as we're in our due diligence, we can pull out for any reason we want. So if we can't sell the deal within the time period of the due diligence, just say, hey, I don't want to buy it no more. Or I need to get it, I need to get what's called a haircut. I need to get it for cheaper than, we call it a haircut in the wholesaling industry, but it's basically where you go back to the seller and say, hey, I need to get it for a little bit cheaper. So what's up, Ben? What's up, Brian? What's up, John? Courtney says, have some money lined up to close on deals. You don't want to hurt your reputation in your town for not being able to close on deals. Yeah, that's true too, Courtney. You don't want to go and make, like, I don't make a ton of promises. Like I get under contract and I get a due diligence, and I'll make sure that they give me time to inspect the house, because obviously you don't want, in Canada it's a little bit different. The laws are different in Canada. Like, if you put something under contract and you offer cash, I think you're legally and ethically obligated to close on it. In the U.S., you're not legally and ethically obligated if you make a cash offer, because we still have a due diligence period. But Courtney's exactly right. You don't want to just go and just like I don't get something under contract unless I think I'm gonna buy it or I think I can sell it. That's just how I am. Like, I'm not gonna. There's some investors or wholesalers out there, they just put everything under contract, even though it's not a deal, and they just hoard around and send it out to investors, and everybody, they make an ass of themselves, right? And then they embarrass themselves and they piss off the homeowner because they made all these guarantees and they can't sell it, right? So Justin says, so that's 100% right, Courtney. I agree with you on that. Justin says, I need people to trust me, laugh out loud. How do I find that money? Justin, that takes you building yourself up as somebody that knows how to find a deal and who knows how to provide value to the investor, And you know, if it's an investor that's familiar with real estate, it'll be a lot easier to sell. But if it's somebody that's just got a lot of cash and they're not familiar with real estate, it's going to be a harder sale for them, right? You're going to have to go in there and really show them the deal, show them the ROI, show them how much you got for it, and show them, hey, look, you can't lose in this deal. I bought it for 60 cents on the dollar, and all I'm asking for is, you know, some capital. You ain't getting, but you know, you're getting less than 1% on your money in the bank. I'll give you, you know, 8 or 9 or 10% return on your investment. I'm gonna have this deal sold within 2 or 3 months max. So you'll be able to make, you know, 3-4 grand on your money in 3 months. They can't make that with $100,000 in the bank. You got to sell it, right? You have to sell the value of what you do, and nobody's gonna do it for nothing. Like it's got to be worth their time, right? So show them that you're gonna give them a great return, and it's backed by a solid investment, which is real estate, heavily discounted, where they're buying it, you know, 65 cents on the dollar, just in case, you know, in the back of their mind, they need a hedge, right? They need a hedge in the back of their mind to be like, well, if this girl goes or this guy goes south on me, if I take back this property, what can I do with it? And if you show them, look, I'm buying it for let's just keep the numbers around, right? If you're buying a house for 60,000, it's worth 100 grand and only needs 10 grand. Why wouldn't they give you 60 grand or even 70 grand to do the rehab work? They give you 70 grand and you flake it all up and you know, I don't know, you basically run off and say you don't want to do the deal no more. And the property appraises for 100 grand and they are into it for 70. It's a safe investment for them because they can take back their money via the real estate asset and just throw it back on MLS. And you won't lose their money, right? And they'll probably make a profit. That's how the banks win, right? When you borrow money from the bank, right? When you do an investment property, like for the banks, for instance, for me, the bank only gives me 80% of appraised value. That's to hedge themselves against me making mistakes. So when they give me money, if I'm buying a house that's, you know, if I want to buy a house that's 100 grand, they're only going to give me 80,000 if it appraises for 100 grand. That way, if I don't pay them, they can take back the investment and turn around and resell it and at least recoup their money and break even or maybe hopefully make a profit. So the banks hardly ever lose, guys. At least the smaller, smarter banks, the smaller community banks. Now the bigger banks like your Goldman Sachs and your you know, these big banks like Chase that are so leveraged out because they don't give a shit because they're backed by the government. They can't lose, right? But your smaller, smarter banks and your private money lenders, they're smart guys. They're not just going to lend on something that's not a good deal. Just as I need to, let's see, answer that question. Dan, I agree flipping is too much work. Yeah, Dan, I mean, it's a lot of work, Dan. I mean, Dan's a big flipper from Canada. That's why he's coming to our program to learn how to wholesale. My partner, Ben, he was a big flipper. Ben's been flipping houses since he was 24 years old. You know, he's been flipping, Ben's 33, I believe, and he's been flipping, you know, since he was 24 for like 11, 12 years, right? And I met him at GrowthCon. He's like, man, you know, I'm sick of, you know, I'm sick of flipping houses. I see what you're doing. It looks really cool. You know, how can you help me? And I said, dude, you're working too hard. You're swinging that hammer every day. It's nothing against flipping houses. You can still make money flipping houses. You don't want to flip every house. You need to be like water on every deal. Like you need a flow. Like you shouldn't do the same thing on every deal. Like I look at a deal and I analyze it. What's the best return on my time on this deal? Should I wholesale it? Should I wholesale it? Should I flip it? Or should I keep it as a buy and hold? Like on some deals, like I had a deal that I kept last month. If I'd have wholesaled it, I'd have probably made $2,500. But if I'd have kept it and rented it out, I could make $400 positive cash flow. So it didn't make any sense for me to wholesale it and only make $2,500. So I kept it and we put a little bit of money into it, and now we're trying to get rent for it. We're trying to rent it out for $750. My note on it's only like $250 on it, right? So I can make $400 a month, or I could have made $2,500 on a wholesale. So it's just better to keep that kind of deal, right? Because I can always wholesale it later, especially once I get it rented out. Once you get it rented out, it's a lot easier to wholesale it. All right, what's up, Andrea? Ernie says the risk, Mike, is that if you don't work and just expect it to come to you, you'll waste your money in advertising. If you work nonstop and treat it like your baby, you'll make money. 100%, Ernie. Ernie knows. Ernie's a grinder, man. Ernie's hitting me up every day, hustling and making the deals work, man. You know it's about it. I didn't call it hustle wholesaling for no reason. It's a grind. John says, what's the biggest flip you have done and how much did you make from it? The biggest flip I've ever, well, the most I've ever made on a wholesale deal, I made $79,000 on a wholesale deal. That's the most money I've made on a wholesale deal. A flip, I haven't done a ton of flips. I made 125,000 my first flip, believe it or not, when I was 24, 25 years old, which that was a fluke. But I've never done that again. Honestly, that was just a fluke because the market surged back in, I think it was 2006 or 2006. I sold my house when the market was peaked, right? It peaked out, and I went and painted my house, landscaped it, and threw it back on MLS, and we made 125,000. I took that money, dumped it into some quick lube car wash and mechanic shops here in my town, and I bought a bunch of other car washes and mechanic shops over the next 3 or 4 years using real estate flips to do it. But your average flip, John, nationally is probably 30 to 40 grand, honestly. But typically when I flip a house, I usually make 20, 30 grand. That's typically what I make. But I'm learning that, I don't want to flip houses. If I'm only going to make 20, 30 grand, I'd rather wholesale it and make 5, 10 grand and be in and out of the deal fast. But typically, yeah, I mean, most flippers, like they glorify all these flippers on, some of these shows. I mean, a lot of them are doing well, but it's a lot of work. I mean, they know. I mean, shit. Chris Nagel's on here. He's got his own show on HGTV. He flips houses. We had a conversation too. It's a lot of work. It's not always. It's fun to do it because you're taking something from nothing and beautifying it and making it beautiful. But I'd rather wholesale any day of the week or wholesale it. It's got to make sense as a wholesale. If it doesn't need a lot of work, it's in a great neighborhood. Days on market is not that long. Get with a realtor. Learn your market. Learn what market's hot, what's not, what neighborhoods are hot or not, and that's how you're going to really be able to reverse engineer what you're going to do. What strategic thing are you going to do on each individual property that you get, right? Hope that helps, John. Orlando. So good neighborhood, days on market, decent to good spread, hotel. Exactly. 100% Orlando. That's exactly right. Great. It's got to be in a good neighborhood. Listen, who knows the market better than realtors? Nobody. Especially the older seasoned realtors that have been doing it for 5, 10 years, who are studs, who have been like making a lot of money being a realtor. Especially the ones that have been doing it for 10 plus years. Get with those girls and guys and ask them about the market. They know it better than anybody. Orlando, any requirements? Not really. Ben says stop telling everybody our secrets. Yeah, I probably should keep my mouth shut, huh, Ben? That's funny. Anyway, let's see what else we got on here. Any other questions? It's snowing here. Dan said it's snowing in Canada. Mike Wood says, so it's no legal pitfalls when closing deals or wording things wrong. So it's no legal pitfalls when closing deals or wording things. Now, yeah, if you word things wrong, Mike, I mean, that could get you some trouble. But as far as legal pitfalls, not really, man. I mean, you can't really get in a lot of trouble with wholesaling. I'm not saying it's not possible. I haven't heard of a lot of people getting in trouble from wholesaling because you don't really own the property. You just control it via a contract. So. Andrea says, we should have paid you more. Yeah, that's true, Andrea. Hey, I'll send you an invoice. Andrea has been my partner's wife from Windsor, Canada. So let's see. Emmanuel, what's going on? Mike Wood, I got deals lined up, but I don't want to do and say the wrong things. Mike, but that's how you're going to learn, my man. A lot of people say that to me. Especially a lot of my students. Man, it's getting cold out here. I need to get closer to my fire. My fire's starting to go out. Let me get closer to my fire here. Oh, man. Yeah, listen, you don't want to be afraid to make mistakes. Right? You don't want to be afraid to make mistakes, Mike. You can't say the wrong things, and if you do say the wrong things, so what? You're going to learn that way. That's how you learn. Look, when I first got started in this business, I said a lot of dumb shit. Like, I was like, man, I ain't saying that again. I know not to say that again, right? But you got to understand that that's part of the learning process, and that's where a lot of people get stuck in analysis paralysis, and they don't ever start because they're so worried about making a mistake. That's where the golden nuggets happen, right? That's where you learn. That's where you understand things better when you make mistakes. Go ahead and make the mistakes, Mike. It's okay. Like, just roll with it, my man. Ernie says, brother, hire Chris. You'll get all the correct documentation. There's nothing that would cause legal pitfalls. I'm 51 years old. I've seen just about everything. Chris Rood is the real deal. He can coach the player but the player has to play, no sit on the bench. 100%, Ernie. Like, look, I can't make you do deals, guys. If you hire me as a coach, you got to do the work. I'm not going to do the work for you. You got to do the work. It ain't easy. It's simple, but it ain't easy. It's a lot of fun, but it's worth it. You know, it's worth it for you and your family. So if this is something that you're looking to do, like, listen, go all in, you know. Anyway, guys, let me know if this makes sense. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Give me a share. Give me something. And I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate you following me. You know, I have a passion for real estate. I have a passion for people. I love helping people. That's why I love coaching. You know, people ask me all the time, Chris, you're making so much money in real estate. Why you coach? Well, I ain't going to sit here and bullshit you. I want to get paid. I like the money too, but I really enjoy helping people and just helping them grow, right? And watching them succeed and make money. Like, there's no better feeling than you watch you take somebody that was not doing well in life and they start making a lot of money and they're able to feed their family better, you know, provide better for their family, you know, just live a better overall life. That's fulfilling, right? That's fulfilling to me spiritually. So, but I appreciate you guys. Let's see, we got some more questions. How much is the mentorship you got me interested in? Sean, inbox me on Facebook Messenger, or I'll come back and inbox you here in a minute once we get off the live. It's not that expensive, man. I mean, if you got the money, dude, you need to go buy the biggest package. I'm telling you right now. I've tracked this and I've watched it. I've been doing this for 2 years now. The people that pay the most money in my program are the most successful, hands down. Bar none. The people that pay the most are the most successful. The people that pay the least are the least successful. Simple as that. Because there's got to be a commitment, guys. There's got to be some skin in the game for you. Otherwise, it ain't going to mean nothing. The money is for you and your commitment, because you're going to work your ass off if you know you're going to lose some money. And plus, you're going to get more of my time, right? Andrea says, Ben got burned flipping contracts and stocks, and he didn't have the money to follow through. He learned through that experience and will never happen with wholesaling. Enter every deal with the intention to close, and if a buyer comes along before we close, happy to assign the contract. 100%. So, yeah, no, that's the thing. If you have good intentions, guys, you know, you obviously don't want to just go in there and just start like getting everything under contract. If it's not a deal, if they're not motivated, if there's not enough equity in the property, don't get it under contract. You can't force motivation. Either they're motivated or they're not. You can't force it. Simple as that. Dan says, I use hard money lenders here for my flips. If I can have them paid in 6 months, it works out with all fees, 10% annual. Listen, that's a great return for those investors, right, Dan? I mean, they're not getting that at the bank, and they're happy to pay that out, right? What's up, Jerry? What's up, Adam? Ernie says, that's proof that lessons cost and good ones cost lots. Hope all is well with y'all. My wife and daughter and I appreciate you spending time with us at Skillathon. It was a pleasure talking with you. Hey, I appreciate you, Ernie. Hey, listen, Ernie just made a good point. I got a deal. I got 2 deals this month, guys. Deals that I bought 6 years ago when I didn't know what the hell I was doing because I didn't hire a mentor. I got one I lost $3,500 on, which I got lucky. Lucky that I only lost $3,500. I should have lost $35,000. I got another deal I'm going to show an investor tomorrow that I'm probably going to lose $15,000 to $20,000 on because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You know, I'm the kind of guy that takes massive action, which is good and bad, and you know, sometimes it gets me in trouble, but it's gotten me to where I am now, right? But if you hire a mentor, all you're doing is, when you don't hire a mentor, you're doing this on the road. You're doing it on and off the road, on and off the road. When you hire a mentor, you stay on the road. That mentor keeps you on the road and you don't go off into the ditch. That's all it is. That's how you can analyze it. It's like, if you want to go in the ditch sometimes and possibly crash, don't hire a mentor. There's a chance you won't crash. It's like drunk driving. Getting into real estate without a mentor is like drunk driving, driving drunk. You may make it to the other side, but you're going to swerve. You may hit a few potholes. You may hit a ditch. And hopefully you don't crash, because sometimes you're going to crash. So understand that if you want the straight and narrow path, you want all the nuggets, and you want to get there faster and safely, hire a mentor. Simple as that. 100%. What's up, Jared? What's the biggest wholesale deal you have done? I think we already talked about the biggest wholesale deal I've ever done, John. I did a $79,000 wholesale. Biggest flip was 125, but that's not typical, man. That's not even, I shouldn't even give you those numbers and give you like some kind of false expectation that that's the norm. Dude, my average deal is probably 12 to 15 grand. We'll hit home runs every now and then. And you know, like I closed the deal, our last deal we closed was what, $8,500. Our next deal we closed Friday is $18,000. You know, we got another deal that's $24,000 that we closed next after that. But but now I got another deal I locked up today that I'm closed. I'm only making $5,000, right? But if you average it out, 12, 15 grand. Now the national average is 8,500. The national average across the U.S. I looked it up. It's 8,500 bucks. So, which is good. If you do 2 or 3 or 4 of those a month, that's extra 20, 30 grand a month in your pocket. Shit, that's great money. Chris Nagel says, I keep butchering your name. It's Nagel, right, Chris? I keep butchering it. It's Chris Nagel, not Nagel. Over 200 flips, and they never get easier. It's a great stepping stone. You learn so much, and you can make lots of money. However, there's a right time and a wrong time for everything. Now is not the time to flip. Wholesale, rent, and be the bank. When markets go down soon, they buy and flip on the downswing. 100%, Chris. I love Chris's perspective. He's got so much massive perspective because he's worked in. Matter of fact, Chris spoke in my event, and super impressed with Chris. Just a great guy. Chris has his own show on HGTV called Risky Builders, and dropped a lot of good nuggets. But yeah, Chris, 100%, dude. Like, it's not always a good thing to flip. It's not always good to wholesale. It's not always good to buy and hold. It's not always good to wholesale. But the difference is you got to know when to do each strategy. And that's when you can really be a smart investor. There's not one investor that just does one thing all the time. Like, you have to look at it, an opportunity, and say, what's my play on this opportunity? What angle do I take, right? And the way you know that is having perspective and knowing your market. Knowing your market probably be the biggest thing, and knowing how much work it needs, and is it worth it? Measuring it out in your head from a time perspective, right? Is it worth doing all this? Should I just wholesale it? It's probably going to be a 4-month rehab job, and it's probably going to sit on the market another 60 days. That's a 6-month turnaround. Is that worth it when I can just make 10 grand by assigning it or flipping it to an investor? Those are the kind of things you got to understand and know, right? Ahmad, what's up? What's up, Aunt Karen, Eddie, Chris? Correct. 20 to 40 is dead on. Yep, that's. I agree, Chris. Yep, 20 to 30K flip here as well. Chris, flip a house in 22 minutes. Check it out. Risky Builders. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny. John, when you wholesale, what is the usual price point? Man, that's all over the place. I mean, I can tell you what I think the best price point is. You want to stay in that. You want to stay in that sweet spot, right? That sweet spot is the first-time home buyers. First-time home buyers are typically like my market. Average is probably 150,000. Typically, the most of the houses that I wholesale are probably in the 75 to, or probably 35,000 at a low end, or 30,000 at a low end to high end 125 that I'll wholesale. But that's going to typically be the best deals. Now, if you get into super high end markets, it's going to be a little bit tougher to wholesale, but the spreads are better. But I would say working class, blue collar, middle class, working class neighborhoods are the best. Your working class neighborhoods across the U.S. and Canada are going to be your best. Not the big high end markets like Toronto, New York, Los Angeles. What's that other high-end market in Canada? Vancouver. I mean, that's going to be tough to wholesale. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's going to be tough. Ryan says, hey Chris, I've been in the wash and lube business for the last 15 years. Been very successful, great business, but it's past time to upgrade. Hey dude, listen, Ryan, I did that, my brother. I did that for 12 years. I was in the oil change and wash business for 12 years. Let me tell you a story real quick, Ryan. When I first started wholesaling, and I made good money as when I was doing what I was doing, I was making, $350,000, $500,000 a year with all my perks and benefits. But I had 33 employees, I had 4 locations, and I was just working my ass off. And, I was making good money, but it was a grind. They'd always break stuff. They'd freaking burn an engine here, or, freaking brake job went bad, cost me $1,000 to fix, or whatever. You know how it is when you got employees. I literally got into wholesaling and went from doing it part-time, and I'm making $47,000 part-time by myself, $40,000 in 1 month. I went back and gave my keys to my manager and said, hey, do not call me unless somebody dies. I'm going to work. Like, if I can make $47,000 by myself wholesaling, I don't want to mess with these businesses no more. So it's the difference between what? Trading time for money and trading value in your skill set. Because when you're doing a business that's a low ticket item, like I got a guy that's coming into my program now, like he probably makes $500,000 a year. I talked to him today. He does really well, but he's just like me. He sells insurance, and it's a low ticket item, and it's a grind. Like, it's constantly having to sell to get like a little bit of spread, right? Well, the thing with real estate is the spreads are so high because you're selling a piece of real estate that the margins are so high. So you don't have to sell. It's a high ticket item. So you don't, and it's a high profit item. You don't have to sell freaking 200 units a month to make a lot of money. You could sell 5 units a month and make a lot of money, or even 3 units a month for a lot of people. If you average in 8 to 10 grand a month, that's extra 20, 30 grand a month. So Ryan, ask yourself this, man. I mean, if you're burnt out on what you're doing, I mean, I'm sure it's a great business. Look, I still own some of it. I still own 2 of my shops. 2 of them. So I sold one on a lease option. I sold the other 2 outright, but I own one on a lease option that I sold to another operator, and I still own 1 car wash and oil change that I still own. But you have to ask yourself, is that business going to be viable in the next 20 years? And that was the main reason I sold them, Ryan. Think about it. Dude, look at how much cars have changed. I don't know how long you've been in the business. I've been in the business for 12 years. I was changing oil when people were getting oil changes every 3,000 miles until they started switching to synthetics, and then the oil change count went down. But dude, in another 20 years, they may not even be oil, and well, I say they may not be oil, but people may be changing oil every 20,000 miles, and then they have to go to the dealership because it takes certain tools and all kind of crazy shit to change your oil. And I saw the long-term play on it. I was like, this business is not viable in the next 20 years. I got out, man. Matter of fact, I sold out to one of the biggest national players in the country. I sold out to Express Oil Change, and they gave me a premium for one of my places. So, dude, if you got a rocking business, Ryan, you need to think about that. What's my long-term play? Is this business going to be viable in 20 years? And I think I would say that in 20 years, it's still going to be here, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be as good as it is now. So I would think about that. But hit me up, Ryan, if you're interested in learning how to do this, dude. I could help you. What's up, Jason? Ernie? You're a grinder, brother. Pleasure talking with you at lunch at Skeleton on Saturday. Much respect, young man. I appreciate that. Let's see, Wesley. What's up, Wesley? Nick says, other side might not even know you're saying dumb shit. Laugh out loud. Other side might not even know you're saying no. I don't know what that means, but if you give, you get. Incredible feeling. 100%, Chris. Yep. Stock options are dangerous, 100%, Chris. I mean, that's why I only I only do stuff I understand, right? All these guys that are doing the stock market, I'm sure you can make a lot of money do it, but I'm just not that cat that knows how to do that, right? Yeah, I appreciate you, Jerry. What price point on the buy? John, that's a great question. Hey, I've done it all. I've done high-end rentals. I've done low-end rentals. I've done medium rentals. I'm telling you right now, the best rentals, in my opinion, it's not the hood, but it's a step above the hood. It's that brick on slab house that's 40 years old. That's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath that you can pick up for 30, 40,000. That's worth 60 or 70. That you can get $850, $900 a month in rent. That will never ever go away. I don't care what the economy does, dude. Anybody can rent that. If you start trying to get into high-end rentals, it's great when the economy's good, but dude, as soon as the economy takes a shit, you better move out the way because you're going to get your ass handed to you. I got my ass handed to me. I bought a bunch of high-end rentals here in Lafayette, where I live in Louisiana. While the economy was booming in 2012 and the oil field was booming, I could literally buy a $150,000 house that's worth $225 or $250, and I can rent it out like in 3 days for like $2,000 a month, like clockwork. I bought $3 million worth of those deals over the next 3 years, and 2014 hit, and oil went from $128 a barrel to $28 a barrel, and I lost my ass. I'm still losing my ass today. That's one of the deals that I'm having to go show tomorrow that I'm probably going to lose $15,000, $20,000 on, and another deal that I lost $3,500 on, and I got lucky 2 weeks ago. So stay in the sweet spot. Don't buy in the hood. Don't buy in a war zone. I know some investors do well with that if you have the patience for it, but I don't want to get mugged trying to pick up rent. I think stay in that working class area, right? The blue collar working class. I like that $30,000 to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 house that's worth double. The low end rentals I typically like to buy for half of what they're worth. If I can buy it for $30,000 and it appraises for $60,000, like for instance, I'm closing on 3 houses. I'm paying $100,000 for them. They're all rented out. They're all Section 8, getting $2,500 a month, and I'm paying $100,000, and it appraised for it appraised like $185,000. Like I paid, and I don't have to do anything. I'm just buying it and renting it, right? But that's basically like $33,000 a house, and they all appraised for like 60, $65,000, $70,000 a piece. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. So the point is, stay in a sweet spot. Stay where most renters are where. They're going to be, but you don't want to be too low and you don't want to be too high. If you can be in the middle, you'll insulate yourself from the next market correction. So, Travis, have you ever thought about renting a sober living house? I know people who bring in $10K a month, $1,500 mortgage. I have not, Travis. I don't know that play. I've heard about it, Travis. I've heard about it, but I've never really looked into doing it. I know it exists. I'm more of a mobile home park kind of guy. Like if I'm gonna do something big, I like to buy mobile home parks. I like the little single family homes, but I can't give you any advice on that. I know people doing it that are doing well. I know people that are doing the, matter of fact, I had a guy come speak at my event last week, Gene Girano. I always mess up his last name, but he does assisted living facilities, and same thing, you can buy a house and get $10,000, $15,000 a month for it. And I think that's a sweet deal too, but I don't know, man. I don't do that, so I don't want to give you too much advice on it, but I know it works. Average price, yeah, I'd say 150, John. I think I answered that question. What's up, Erica? Let's see. Ben says, Chris helped me blow up my business and make over $500,000 this year so far. Yeah, Ben made $500,000 in 7 months in my program. He was my top student from Canada, and did it in Canada at that. So my average wholesale deal in Canada is $15K. Listen to that, guys, $15K a deal. That's freaking incredible. So this can be done, guys. Canada is untapped. If you're in Canada, let me and Ben help you. It's ridiculous. Canadian deals pay higher on average because the cost of housing in most of the country is higher than in the U.S. Yep, 100%. You can invest in yourself or invest someone else. That's right, 100%. Chris Nagle was very legit. This dude knows his stuff. Brian, what's up, Brian? Ben says, invest the first $40K in your education and the money will come. 100%, guys. You gotta invest in yourself first. If you don't know what to invest in, if you're like, man, I don't even know if I want to do real estate. I may want to do stocks and bonds. I may even want to do day trading. Shit, I may even want to be a contractor. But you're just not sure. Invest in yourself first, dude. Like I'm telling you, if you invest in yourself, if you can get this right first, the rest of this out here will go right. Invest in the mind first, and the rest of the world will just go right. That's how the world works, man. If it's an inside job first. You gotta get right in the head first before you start a business. Because if you're not right in the head, you're just not gonna be in the right state of mind to make yourself be successful. Because it's so hard, guys. It's fucking hard. Excuse my language. I'm from South Louisiana, but it's so hard to be an entrepreneur. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, right? To be an entrepreneur, you gotta have freaking thick skin. You gotta not care what people think about you. You gotta want it so bad that you're willing to lose everything you got in order to make it go right. And that's not for everybody, but it's very fulfilling, and it's very, it's a feeling that I can't even explain. And you guys are on here that are successful entrepreneurs, you know that when you make a business go right, it's got to be one of the most fulfilling things that you can do. But it's tough, and I'm not gonna sit there and bullshit you. That's why 90% of in entrepreneurs, they fail. But they don't fail because they don't know what they're doing. They don't fail because they don't have enough follow through, enough push. They don't have enough personal fortitude and personal integrity, like to toughen themselves up and get through the hard times. I've almost went bankrupt twice, guys. Once when I was about 25. Another time when I was probably around 32. From just swinging for the fence, right? But you just gotta go all in, guys, and you gotta, if you work on yourself hard enough, you'll mentally steel yourself, meaning you'll harden yourself up to prepare yourself for the mental challenges and the pushback and the punches in the gut and the kicks in the nuts that you're gonna get as an entrepreneur, because it's coming, and it ain't fun, but it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it, because at the end of the light, at the end of the tunnel, when you start getting some success, and I've been an entrepreneur since I was 22. I started an oil change business out of the back of my truck when I was 22 years old. I looked at people looking at me, laughing at me, saying, "Hey, like, look at Chris, he's freaking changing oil out of the back of his truck and washing cars." And people laughed at me, right? And I just didn't give a shit. I said, they're laughing now, but they ain't gonna laugh later when I'm freaking killing it. And it took me, it took me 3 or 4 years to get that business off its feet, but it's a journey, guys. The journey is the destination, and you want it to be hard. If it's easy, everybody's looking for that easy route. If it's easy, don't do it. Take the hard route. The hard route is the way, I promise you. The journey is the destination. Stop trying to get away from it. Go all in, do what's hard. Do what's hard now while it's still easy, while you're still somewhat young, you know, because if you try to do it when you're 50 years old, it's a little bit tougher. Not to say you can't do it, but do it now, especially you cats that are on here that are 20 years old. Man, go all in. Like, what the fuck you got to lose? Who cares? Who cares if you fail? You can start a service business, you know, and I'm kind of getting off topic, even if you don't want to get into real estate, but you can start a service business. You can start a landscaping business, a lawn business, and there's so much opportunity, guys, that you should just go for it. It says, learn how to spot a deal and how to mitigate risks. From here, it isn't that hard to grow quickly. 100%. That's right. Ben's grown quickly. I grew quickly. It really doesn't take that much. That's the beautiful thing about real estate. It's so scalable and you can get successful fast. There's a reason why 90% of the world's millionaires did so, or 80% of the world's millionaires did through real estate. Chris says, know when to hold them and when to fold them. Sell those stocks soon. You will thank me later. 100%, Chris. So true. Joey Martin says, no more dangerous than any other investment. Much like real estate, you need to be embodied in your market and understand your analysis and investment tools. If you don't, you'll get your lunch money taken. 100%, Joey. I love that. That's so true, Joey. Great to see you, brother. Great to see you too, Ahmad. So most homes under 50K. Well, that's in my market, John. If most homes under 50K, that depends on if I'm in a middle class, C class, B plus or B minus area, right? It depends. Like, you know, that sweet spot in your area. You know, if you live in Miami, that sweet spot may be it may be a $150,000 house. I don't know. You know, I know in California, you know, the hood costs 150 grand, right? In a middle class, maybe 250,000. So it's all relative. John says, Destin, laugh out loud. No, I wouldn't say that's a sweet spot. Destin's super expensive, man. My wholesale deals are between 120 to 160,000. Yep. So there you go. Ben's wholesale deals are 120 to 160. John Hughes, have you wholesaled anything in Destin? I have not, John. I have not wholesaled anything in Destin. I plan on eventually moving out there within the next. I have a vacation home out there, but I think in 10 years, man, if I can set up and get enough, I'm hoping to own at least 20, 30 mobile home parks by then. I'm trying to buy 2 mobile home parks a year. I'm on my 3rd one right now. I'm trying to get, you know, a couple $100 grand a month in passive income just from mobile home parks. And then I'm moving to Florida, man. I'm moving to Destin. So Jerry says, I've been doing this for 24 years and the fast nickel is much better than the slow dime. Look, there you go. There you go from Jerry. Jerry's been doing this for 24 years. And he's just confirming everything that I've been preaching to you guys on this call, on this live. He's been doing it for 24 years. A fast nickel is much better than a slow dime. Take it while you can. Look, how they say that a bird in the bush is better than a bird in a feather or some shit like that. I don't know, but you know what I mean. What's up, Hung? DJ says, what's the first hire you suggest making when building your wholesale team? Great, DJ, I'm glad you asked me this question because I was just talking to my girl that works for me, and we're going to talk about this. Your first hire should be not an acquisition manager, not a secretary. Well, she's kind of a secretary, but a personal assistant. You need to hire a personal assistant. A personal assistant will help you scale your time. Listen, a personal assistant will help you scale your time to where you can do more things that make you money and you can do the activities that make you money. That's why I've been having the same personal assistant for 12 years. Jan has been with me since I worked in the oil change business, in the car wash. She's the reason why I have so much time and I can do what I do, because I just give her all the work that I want to do. Like anything that doesn't make me money, she does it. And she's been doing that for me for 12 years. All I do all day is talk with buyers and talk with sellers. And I'm finally starting to build out my team. We work in 3 markets right now. I just hired on a 3rd acquisition manager who's coming full time. Actually, he's one of my students from Arizona. He's moving. He's actually coming meet with me this weekend. He's flying in, come spend a few days with me. But first hire should be assistant, right? A personal assistant. Then you build out. You want to do everything yourself first, DJ. Don't try to hire this huge team because you're gonna put yourself in a cash flow crunch. Hire a personal assistant. Once you do everything yourself without the personal assistant. Once you get to where you can't do anything more, you're flustered and you're like losing business. Hire a personal assistant to do all the stuff that you don't want to do. You know, shooting out emails, ordering, doing marketing, writing up contracts. Get her to do that so you can do more of the stuff that makes money. And then once you get to a point where both of y'all are maxed out, then hire an acquisition manager to help you. right? And then once now you got you and the acquisition manager. Now once you're full with that, I'd get a disposition manager last. And if you don't know what a disposition manager, that's basically they acquisition manager gets the deal, getting a contract, disposition sells the deal. And then now you got a personal assistant, you got an acquisition manager and a disposition. Now I wouldn't stop as doing acquisitions if I were you. I would still do acquisitions. Like I'm still going to do acquisitions even though I've got 3 acquisitions guys, because I'm always going to want to go on the road and look at these deals. Because I mean, one acquisition guys can literally make you $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, depending on how good they are. So if you stop wholesaling yourself and just go sit back and smoke cigars and smoke dope and drink beer all day, your business is gonna dip, because all you're doing is replacing yourself with somebody else. So I'm not trying to replace myself out of the business. I'm trying to grow revenue, and I'm still gonna work in the business until I keep hiring more and more acquisition guys. So hope that answers your question. It says you're right, Jerry. What's up, Locke? What's up, Ballard? Literally can be wiped out in minutes, Orlando says, 100%. Bill says, what's up? Jennifer, what's up? Gene, what's going on, my man? When you believe the real estate bubble will pop. When you believe man, I don't know. I've been saying the real estate bubble is going to pop for like years now, and it never pops. I don't even want to predict it. I think, I was having this conversation last night with Ben. I think they pumped so much liquidity into the market that the markets are so flush with cash that, because historically speaking, we typically have a crash every 8 years, historically speaking. We're going on a 10, 11 years now without having a correction. That's never been done. So it's like, how long can the music keep playing? Like, but there's so much money in the markets right now from quantitative easing. They pumped what, $4.3 trillion into the markets, something like that, or was it 3.4, something like that? But it's a ridiculous amount of money. So there's so much funny money going around the markets that they really, I don't think I think it's coming, but it's like, I've been thinking it's going to crash the past 2 to 3 years, and it hasn't. But I mean, who knows? If I had that, listen, if I knew that, I wouldn't be on this Facebook Live with you right now, because I'd probably be betting all kind of money on all kind of stuff that I know would crash and make money off of. But who knows? I mean, I can't answer that. But if I had to guess, I would say within the next 2 years. I mean, we're about to be in 2019. I would say it, worst case scenario, 2021, but probably 2020 if I had to really guess. So, hope that answered your question. Richie, how much did you put into marketing for your first few deals? Like $500. I started off with bandit signs, right? I didn't do a whole lot, but just do bandit signs, right? So it didn't cost me a whole lot. If you ain't got a lot of money, just do that, or do some driving for dollars. John says, what do we get today, my friend? What's up, John? Appreciate you being on, brother. 100% on the simple rentals. 150 of them makes a nice cash flow. That's awesome, Jerry. Yeah, Jerry's doing the same thing. Jerry's got a bunch of single-family homes. We kind of had this conversation before. Jerry really likes the single-family homes more than the multifamily. Depends on who you talk to, right? It really just depends on who you talk to. What's up, Damien? Way harder in Canada. Yo, what's up, Bill? Huge opportunity in Canada because they all think wholesaling is not possible. Yeah, let them think that, Chris. I mean, let them keep thinking that, and it's crazy how people are not taking the opportunity that they have right now with wholesaling in Canada. Orlando says, whoever is questioning hiring Chris Rood, here is some perspective. Chris Nago, Jerry Green, Christian Colburn, and Ben Humble are all on this FB Live. They are all mentors who spoke at Skeleton. You get access to them also with your questions. 100%, Orlando. You don't just get access to me. You get access to my network, right? You get access to my network, so you can plug into them. Because look, I don't got all the answers, guys. I'll tell you right now, I don't know it all. I don't even claim to know it all. I'm a good wholesaler, and I got perspective, and that's all I'm going to give you is perspective, and I'm going to bring in some of my buddies, and they're going to give you some perspective so that you can think with it, right? Because if you have different perspectives, right, and you can see with glasses, but from different lenses of other people, it makes you intelligent. It makes you super intelligent because why? You have perspective. If you only have one person's perspective, then you can't think because you're just thinking through their lenses. But if you look through 5 or 6 people, then you can take all that information and you can look for yourself with all the information you gather, and you can see what similarities and differences. When you can see similarities and differences in things, that's perspective. That makes you smarter than most people, guys. So I don't claim to know it all. That's why I get a huge network around me, and I ask questions. I network with people, and I find out what they know that I don't know, guys. So Orlando says, go broke on yourself. 100% Orlando. That's my new theme song, man. Go broke on yourself. I think I think that's the one variable to help you make it, man. You got to go broke on yourself first before you take off with a venture, man. Go all in. Work on yourself. Do personal development if you're not sure about what to do with yourself. What's up, Brandon? People fail because they don't have the right mindset. 100%, Andrea. It's all mindset, guys. It really is. Invest in yourself. Hire yourself. Believe in yourself, and then get a mentor, and never stop spending money on education and progressing your journey and dream bigger. 100%, Chris. Love that, man. That's awesome. What's up, Nico? Nico was at Skillathon. Bill says financial freedom. Hung says so stressful, but honestly, it's true. Be obsessed or be average, and get out of business almost guaranteed. Yeah, you got to be obsessed, guys. You got to be a super freak. You got to be a little crazy. Listen, you got to be a little crazy. It takes courage and balls, and just, you got to be a little off. I'm telling you right now. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, like some of the shit that I see some of my friends do, other entrepreneurs, some of the things I do, freak other people out. It freaks my wife out, freaks my friends out. I don't really have friends, but people locally, my parents, like, what the fuck are you doing, Chris? But that's what it takes. But you got to be willing to do what other people aren't willing to do. It's as simple as that. Listen to what I just said, guys. You want to be successful, just do the things that other people aren't willing to do. So, Ben says, frankly, it's not hard in Canada if you follow the right process. We have 2 Canadian students start at 0, and both did over 25K within 90 days. You just need to put in the work and find someone who knows the process. It's 100%, Ben. And Ben's a proven fact of that. I mean, Ben made $500,000 in 7 months in my program. We got 2 or 3 students now that are crushing it. So it's really unfortunate that not a whole lot of people know about this in Canada. We're trying to spread the word to help people in the Canadian market get into this, because I don't think they realize the opportunity they're missing. Because eventually it's going to get like it is in the U.S. Eventually, I think it'll take 10 years, maybe 5 to 10 years, but in the Canadian market will be flooded with wholesalers, because like it is in the States, there's wholesalers everywhere. Wholesaling is a service business, 100%, Ben. Wholesaling is about people. Learn how to speak and communicate, and opportunities will come. It's all people skills, guys. What is it about? Skills get the deals. If you know how to talk to people, and you know how to relate, and you know how to communicate, and you know how to understand people, and you can just be a good listener, and you can solve problems. Like I solve problems all the time. That's all I'm doing is solving problems. Then you can put deals together, and you can make this business work. Bill says, first deal closes Wednesday the 5th. Chris Rood's program works. There you go. Another testimonial right here. Bill just got in my program. I think Bill's only been in the program maybe 45 days, 60 days. Bill, how long you been in the program? But he's closing his first deal. I think he's making almost 20 G's on his first deal. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, Bill. I'm sorry, but that's awesome. I'm bragging on you. But up until I met Ben, I was always told wholesale and assignments was not allowed by experienced investors in Canada. That is why smart people who blaze their own path can kill it. Ben, that 100%, Chris. That's why Ben's the man, because he had the courage. He's a pioneer, man. He's a freaking pioneer. He had the courage to figure it out in Canada when most people couldn't. Experience is a relative term. You can always learn more. Yep. Jennifer says that's why the Canadian investors invest in America instead. Yep, because they just don't know. That's true. They just don't know. Bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate you telling me that. I really butchered that, huh, Carlos? Dan says, I want to hire a personal assistant right off the bat. I would. If you can afford it, Dan, you can scale your business for sure. Assistant is for sure. Jerry confirms on that. Chris says, very smart. Very smart. It will allow you to scale faster, focus on what makes you money, hire people to do things you are not good at, and most importantly, things that do not create revenue. 100%, Chris. Love that. If you focus on warm leads, you only need 1 or 2 employees to make $1 million per year. That's so true. That is so true, Ben. If you're doing a shotgun approach in this business, if you're doing a lot of outbound marketing. I don't do a lot of outbound marketing. I do a lot of inbound marketing, so it's different. I don't have to have a huge team, but if you do a ton of direct mail and say cold calling and things of that nature, you got to have a huge call center, especially if you send out like 20, 30, 40,000 mailers a month. man, that's a huge influx of calls, and you got to have people to work those calls and work those leads, and it's a lot of work. So I totally agree with you. What's up, Dylan? What's up, Joe? Joe McCall, what's up, my man? Joe McCall was one of my first mentors. Joe, you're awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming on. Chris Nigo, real estate bubble happened in 2008. It will not burst. It will correct and go down, but not bubble to pop. Yep, I agree with that, Chris. I agree. I think it's not going to be as, I mean, the thing is, back in 2006 and 7, they were giving loans to everybody. Everybody. I mean, you could literally, it was called a stated income. You could literally go and get a loan, and just your application was, hey, how much money do you make? And you could just lie and put, hey, I made $1 million this year. And they say, okay, we'll give you a $3 million line of credit. You could buy whatever you want. And it had people buying like 4 and 5 houses at a time. It was stupid. It was ridiculous. That's not going on no more. So I think they've hedged their bets on that. Since they are still doing, what's called subprime loans again, which are like subpar people that don't have the greatest credit scores. But, I mean, do I think it's going to be as bad as 2008? I think it's going to be different. I don't think it's going to be as bad in the real estate because I think they've hedged. They're not giving loans out like they used to in 2006 and 7. I'm sorry. But the problem is there's going to be some crazy things that are going to happen in the near future, right? Like crazy stuff. I mean, look at government pensions, right? Government loans, government pensions. You got Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. You got all these unfunded liabilities, right? Of the U.S. the government, like the U.S. tax revenue, I think is like 3.2 trillion that we take in tax revenue, but the U.S. government spends like 4.5 trillion. So we have like $1 trillion deficit every year. So we're running a $1 trillion deficit year in and year out every year. We can't keep doing that. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be a real estate. The real estate will bust, and we'll have a valuation comes down. But I don't think it's going to be like 2008. It's going to be different. And some of you may disagree with me, but that's just my opinion. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball, right? I don't. So Jennifer says, how do you find your assistants? I had off and on luck, and they end up going to be realtors, and I lose them. Jennifer, man, that's a great question. I mean, look, Jan has been working for me for 12 years. She's been awesome to me. I've taken care of her, and I make her feel like I make her feel like my family, right, Jennifer? I think when you work for somebody, if they take care of you, you really need to take care of them, and you got to make them feel like they're like a part of the team. And it's like it goes back to culture, right? Like Jan's family. Like even though sometimes she's hard to deal with, she may watch this live, but she's hard to deal with. But hey, I'm hard to deal with too. But we understand each other, and we know that it's for the greater good, and we're working for each other. I'm trying to work to make an awesome environment to pay her well, where she can retire, and she's trying to help me make all kind of money so I can help her retire, right? And that's what it's about. It's about really just trading value, I mean, the problem with most employees is that they're selfish, right? They want to get paid a lot of money before they add value to their boss. And I think you need to find an employee that's willing to hang in there and really fight the fight for you and help you make money before they actually get paid. And she's hung in there with me for years, right? And now she's starting to see the fruits of her labor. So hope that helps. Chris says, stock market bubbles will pop soon. Real estate is a lagging indicator, and it will go down after the market and will go faster if interest rates keep going up. I don't feel we will see a bubble burst. That's good news, Chris. I'm glad you feel that way. Still invest about $50K a year in myself. What's up, Ben? What's up, Alex? What's up, Ryan? I mean, where can I get a hat like that? You want a hat like this? I mean, I think I gave you one at Skeleton. You didn't get one at Skeleton? I gave away tons at Skeleton, but I still got a few. So Bill's been in the program 7 to 8 weeks, and he's getting his first deal, making 20 G's. That's awesome, man. Then once I sign up in a few weeks, can I get a couple of your 6 skills get the deal hats? Dan, if you sign up, I'll make that happen, my brother. You got to sign up soon, though, man. These hats are real nice and they're real expensive, man. So you better hurry up. No, I'm just messing with you. I'll get you one as soon as you come in. Dean says, what inbound marketing are you doing, Chris? Man, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot of Facebook. I'm doing a lot of PPC. I'm doing a lot of SEO. I'm doing I'm doing a lot of billboards, bandits. I do all kind of stuff, man. There's just all kind of stuff that I do. I mean, you just gotta listen. I can't give you my magic formula. Let me tell you why I can't give you my magic formula, because there's no one thing that works. If I tell you what I do, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work in your market. Like, you got to split test, measure, adapt, and change to your market, right? It's not like you just got to throw shit at the wall and spend money, and excuse my language, and then see what sticks, right? Because I know people killing it with direct mail across the country, but in my market, I've tried direct mail. I lost money, right? So you got to see what's the most responsive to your market. Inbound marketing may not be your thing. You don't need to know what's good for me or what's good for people that are doing deals across the country. You need to find out what's good for your market. So you need to split test that, and you need to spend a bunch of money, and you need to measure it and track your KPIs and track your statistics, track everything, and measure it and pour the fire on what's working and stop doing what doesn't work, right? It's as simple as that. Awesome, Joe. I appreciate it. I saw you text me, man. I'll reach back out to you. Ben, hey, Dan. Yep. Matt says wholesaling in New Orleans is terrible. I've put thousands on thousands for 6 months with only one deal. Should I go virtual? Man, that's crazy, Matt. It's tough to do deals in New Orleans right now. That I would think that the New Orleans market's on fire. That's weird. Going virtual, I mean, I think if you spent thousands, sorry, my dad keeps calling me. I would try different, just try some different marketing strategy. What are you doing for marketing, Matt? What's up, James? What's up, Ruben? Also says, answer me, Chris. Laugh out loud. Okay, what did you ask me, Oscar? I don't see where you asked me a question. What's good, Chris? What's up, Eamon? What's up, Derek? All right, guys, we had a long live. Anyway, look, the whole moral of the story is I love doing lives like this. I love giving value, giving back to you guys, and getting you to understand that, for one, you got to stop being scared, right? You got to stop being scared to invest in yourself. How many of my students on here, I had to pull, like pulling teeth to try to get them to invest in themselves, right? And now they're like, why the hell did I fight you on, giving you money to train me? I got guys now that are making lots of money, lots and lots of money. And they were fighting me on it over a little bit of small investment that was ridiculous, that I had to even argue with them. But I mean, look, that's human nature, and I get it. But if you're on this live and you're passionate about changing your life, you're passionate about doing something different, and you want to leave a legacy to your kids, and you want to shoot for the stars, so to speak, hit me up. I can help you. I care about you. I care about all of my students. I'm not all in it for the money. Yes, do I want to get paid? I have to get paid. My time is valuable, but I promise you, my ROI on my time with you is watching you succeed, watching you take it to the next level, right? So understand that you're either gonna pay a mentor or you're gonna pay in mistakes. So when you understand that concept and you get over yourself and you get out of your own way, listen, throw it on a credit card, guys. Listen, how many of my students have thrown it on credit cards and now they're living the life of their dreams, right? Ask Ben Mearson, ask all of my students, right? Send them an inbox. My team is killing it. My students are killing it. Why? There's a reason why I'm the #1 wholesale coach in the country. I'll tell you why. One word: service. I will service you like none other. There's nobody in the industry that cares more than I do, because I'm going to service you. So I appreciate all of you guys. If you are interested in my program, go to chrisrood.com and book a call with me, or inbox me on my Facebook Messenger. And love all of you guys. I'm glad you follow me, and I hope to see you at GrowthCon, guys. And listen, I'm giving GrowthCon tickets away right now. If you don't know, I'm sponsoring GrowthCon, Grant Cardone's GrowthCon. I sponsored the event, and if you get hooked up with my coaching, I'm going to give you some tickets. All right, chrisrood.com. Book a call. I will see you soon. Peace.